Hi, Livonia. This is Livonia On Air. I'm Rob Drzwicki. I'm your Director of Government Affairs and Outreach, and we're sort of celebrating an anniversary. The first of these Livonia On Air podcasts that we did, we had an amazing guest in Lori Miller, our city clerk, and it's just short of a year later, and that means it's probably election season coming up again. So we are joined once again by Lori Miller, our city clerk. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All the telltale signs are there, right? The political signs are in bloom. You can feel it in the air. Everybody's showing up to every spaghetti dinner and every event that's going on all over town. People are running for office, and we are getting set up for the August primary. And it's probably an exciting time for you and your team right now.
Very exciting. Lots of work we're working on. We have a lot of candidates on our ballot, so we have sent out all of our absentee ballots, which went out June 25th. They're already coming back.
Wow, that is a quick turnaround on votes. People must be somewhat informed if they're able to just fill that out right away and send it back. So there's good news there. How many absentee ballots did we send out this year?
Just under 27,000 have already gone out.
27,000.
Just under. I didn't run the exact.
That's a lot. That's a whole lot. How many registered voters are even in the city of Livonia?
Currently, we're hovering right around 81,000.
Wow. So that's a significant chunk of the voting population, almost a third.
Almost a third.
Really close to it. Wow.
Are on our permanent ballot list, so they don't even have to request it.
So we've already gotten a bunch of these in. So folks have already kind of cast their ballots, and we've got a lot of time now. When do we vote? When is that day?
Tuesday, August 5th, will be the election day. Polls will open at 7 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. on election day.
All right, so 7 a.m., it's election day. I'm going to wake up nice and early. I'm going to try and get out there as early as I can. Where am I supposed to go? Because I just got a new voter ID card in the mail. Where am I supposed to go? I got some directions in there, but I threw them out. I got my voter ID card still, though. But where am I supposed to go? I see this map, and it looks a lot different than the one I am familiar with. What are we looking at here?
This was a huge undertaking. So what we did is we looked at how the voter trends are going based on last year with the introduction of early voting. And we realized you have early voting, you have absentee voting, and why do we have to have 44 precincts? It was a good time with the laws changing that bumped up the volume of how many voters you can have at a precinct to reevaluate our precinct setup. So what we attempted to do, and strategically it took about 90 days to get this completed because there's a lot of factors involved, but we reduced from 44 precincts down to 26 on a permanent basis. And that's usually what we go down to in the odd years during city elections. But this will be permanent, and we renumbered them. So you may remember if you had a odd number where you had 34, A, B, or C.
Sure.
Now we're just strictly 1 through 26.
I don't need to remember a number
confusion.
or a letter along with my number or anything like that.
Nope.
So I know I vote at Holmes Middle School right there over on Newburgh. And it looks like I've got some pals that are voting there with me. It looks like 5 and 6 and 13 and 11 are all there, or is it just 5, 6, and 13 that are there?
5, 6, and 13. Okay. Now, in our community, we rely on the school districts. So as you can see in the north end, there aren't a whole lot of small elementary schools to use. So that was one of the factors we had to take into consideration. For the most part, the goal was to limit how many people were impacted as far as switching their location.
Okay.
We know people have voted at their same location for 20, 30, 40 years, that's where they go. However, because there's no real schools in that northeast or northwest corner, we really had to consolidate down to 2 or 3 precincts maximum at a school. We had to look at the voter turnout. We had to make sure, if you look over here on the map, that all of the ballots aligned. So in consolidating, we wanted to make sure everyone at that precinct had the same ballot that they were voting on. And then we also looked at the schools that had higher voter turnout on election day and whether or not there was enough parking to accommodate those voters. So some people did get switched around, but it was very minimal. We still have all of our voting locations with the exceptions of 2. We did eliminate on a permanent basis 2 The first one would be Clarence Middle School.
Okay.
That one was problematic for us because it was not ADA friendly as far as access to the building or to the polling location. So we just moved that group of voters across the street to the high school.
Makes sense. That's where the kids go. They go from one to the other. Why not send
yeah,
the
it's just
the
across
voters?
the road, and there's far more parking at the high school, and
Sure.
it has the accommodations to set up 2 precincts.
That's
so
great.
that changed.
What's the
that
other
one.
school that we lost in this?
We lost Cleveland, which was at the south end.
Sure, yeah.
It was a standalone. It did not have high voter turnout, and so we moved them over to Emerson, which has ample parking.
Which is right down the street, right?
Down the
Those kids go to that school anyway, so let's stay all in the same triad, in the same general area.
That was the goal.
Now, are we going to expect that there's going to be more folks coming in? Like, so the last few years, since absentee ballots have been, in vogue, right? I've noticed that if I get there at 10 in the morning, I'm only voter number 12 or 13 a lot of the time, whereas I used to be in the hundreds sometimes. So are we gonna get back up to a density level, or are we probably gonna have the same number of people coming through those precincts?
Probably the same amount of people. It's expected. Now, this is new this year, again, with the introduction of early voting. At the beginning of last year, it did not really take off. By the end of the year, it did take off. So with that expectation that early voting will continue to evolve over time, people have 3 choices. They can vote absentee, they can vote early, or they can go to their polling location. So the numbers at the polls are expected to remain pretty much the same, even though there's a higher voter number at that location.
Sure. So, well, we know that some of these schools always have a ton of people. I know that the folks in Rosedale Gardens and the State Streets love to walk over and vote. You got a lot of dense population there, and folks love to walk right to Grant to cast their ballots. So that tends to be higher on the day of turnout. Let's see how that goes over the coming years here as maybe absentee ballots become more popular, or as early voting becomes more popular. Speaking of early voting, we were able to do a lot of early voting in the last election. We knew everybody was going to vote in the last election. Presidential year, it's always the big year, right? Do we have early voting this year? Do we have a space to do that in?
Well, that's a good question. It's not required under the election law for the odd year elections. It's only mandated through the election law during the even years. We are offering it here in Livonia for both our city elections, the primary and in the general in November. It'll be 2 days only, so it'll be the Saturday and Sunday before each election. It will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and the location will be at City Hall.
Oh, great. So right in the middle of the city. Right. You got people from all over town. Everybody's going to have one little spot right in the middle to go to. That's great. Are we expecting a lot of early voters? It's only a couple of days. The weekend seems like a smart time to do this.
I'm hoping it takes off again.
Sure.
People who have a swing shift schedule or have kids or, and they want to see their ballot go through that tabulator, it gives them 14 hours before the election day. So there's opportunity there. We hope that our residents capitalize it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. If somebody has trouble being able to get into the building or out of their car or anything like that, is there anything you guys can do to help them out?
Absolutely. The 40 days before each election, we issue over-the-counter absentee ballots to voters. We always have done, and we will continue to do, those 40 days and then the days of early voting, what we call curbside voting. Oh, cool. All a resident needs to do is call our main number. We have clipboards at our counter. We will walk out the application. We will check ID. We will bring them their ballot, and then we can return it to the building.
That's great. So like drive-through, like you can get a milkshake, or you can, do your civic duty, all from the comfort of your own car, with the air conditioning on, because it has been plenty hot lately. August 5th seems like it's coming soon. As we are taping this, we're 4 weeks away from that?
4 weeks away.
So we've got a lot of time to figure out what we're going to vote for, who we're going to vote for, and all these things. What is on the ballot this year?
So this year for the August primary, there are names of candidates for council. We are trying to drill down those names to 8 remaining candidates. Okay. Those 8 names will move on to November. So we are electing 4 council candidates this year. We also on our August ballot have a ballot proposal, which is a bond millage proposal that is on there, and it's all spelled out on the right-hand side of the ballot.
All right, we're going to have one thing over on the right-hand side, And then on the left side, how many names do we have?
17 names. 17 candidates.
That's a lot of names. Have we ever had that many people file?
Not to
before?
my knowledge, not to my knowledge.
Wow, and we've got to get that narrowed down to 8 names for the general election, and of those 8, 4 of them are going to serve as city council members.
Right, and they would take office next year.
Wow, okay. I need to start doing my homework, because I don't think I know, I don't see 17 people in a day. So I'm going to need to look into this. What is the best way for residents to find information on these folks that are running for office?
Right, so because our office administers the election, we don't get involved in giving information out about the candidates. We try to stay neutral and stay out of all that. But a good resource is Vote 411 or the League of Women Voters. They'll probably host a candidate quorum here shortly, and that would be viewable on their website. You can also look up the individual candidates. Most of them have social media pages, Instagram, actual websites where you can find out more information about them.
That's great. That's great, because I didn't hear anything of the Livonia Observer being out and doing any kind of surveying, but I did hear League of Women Voters is going to be out, and they're going to do a forum as they've done many times in the past. And I believe that's going to be recorded, and it'll be available online, so you'd be able to take a look at and see, get to know some of these people in one way or another. I know Councilwoman Budzinski has hosted a coffee hour where you can meet candidates, and I'm certain, I mean, local politics, it's always the easiest to meet folks that are in local politics because it's so close to home. So for residents out there that are looking to meet these candidates, sometimes the best thing you can do is go on their social media or on their webpage and see where they're planning on being. These folks will be at all kinds of fun community events and things like that, so I'm sure you'll have an opportunity, and there should be some way to contact these folks through, whether it's their social media, their website. They should be pretty accessible.
Right.
At least we would hope so. So that's great. It's good to know that the League of Women Voters is out there. We'll probably see some trusted sources come out and give some opinions as well. So get out there, Livonia, do your civic duty, learn about the folks and the proposals that are sitting on that ballot. We've got 4 weeks, but by the time this airs, it'll probably be like 3.5 weeks. What else do we need to know about voting this year?
Just that it's very important. We encourage everyone to register to vote. If you're not registered, you can register up to and including on Election Day in the clerk's office. So if you're not sure, you can always go to the Secretary of State's website and make sure you're registered. If not, come and visit us anytime. And the important thing is to exercise that right. You have all kinds of options now, so it's readily available. And so we want everyone to partake in our democracy and to cast their ballot.
So I see you brought a couple of things with you. One of them is a pocket voter guide. Now, I read through that down in the lobby at City Hall the other day, and it seems like it's a great resource, especially for your teens and 20s, maybe people who haven't registered to vote in the past. It gives you a real great overview of number one, the importance of voting, but how do you even start doing any of this stuff, right? So if anybody's looking for this, our city clerk will be all over town at various events throughout the next couple of months, leading all the way up until August 5th. And these little pocket guides are available in the City Hall lobby, probably right at the clerk's office as well. And those fine people at the clerk's office are more than happy to help you out with it. Any final messages for our wonderful viewers and listeners out there?
Absolutely. If anyone has any questions about what to do for voting, please visit votelivonia.org. On our website, you can also take a look at your ballot so you can see what's on it. And of course, we will have the fantastic kid-drawn stickers this year, so anyone can get a sticker that won the contest last year.
Well, you heard it. Get out there and vote Livonia. It's a beautiful day in Livonia. And it's going to be a beautiful August. Maybe we'll talk to you as well before the November election, the big general election coming up. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, and thanks from us at Livonia On Air.